Welcome to Helical Insight training videos. In this video, we're going to cover the introduction to grid chart. Then we will see how to create a grid chart, and later we will see how to customize a grid chart. A grid chart is a chart that represents categorical data proportional to the values that they represent. One axis of the chart shows the specific categories being compared, and the other axis represents a measured value. So a grid chart basically creates a grid based on what fields are selected into rows and columns, and that grid is then filled with visualization, which could be in terms of bar, line, point, or any other visualization which we'll see later. To create a grid chart, drag columns from any of the tables or right-click on the required field and select Add to Rows or Add to Columns. Then select Grid Chart from Visualizations, and you will see that a simple grid chart has been created. The grid has created 3 columns here, as there are 3 types of booking platform. One important point to remember is that there should be at least one measure and one dimension to generate a grid chart. Now, if we drag some other field here like travel medium in the rows and then generate, either by selecting the generate button or selecting grid chart under visualization, then in this grid it will create rows based upon the travel medium. So we can see that it has created rows of bus, cab, flight, etc. In a similar way, we can drag any number of fields in rows and columns, and accordingly it will create a grid. The arrangement of rows and columns in the grid created here depends upon the sequence of the fields which are put here. For example, let's add few more fields, say mode of payment and travel type. Now in this column we are having first booking platform, then mode of payment, and then travel type. A similar sequence will be seen when we generate the report on the grid. But if we change the sequence here and then generate it again, then the arrangement on grid also changes. Now we have travel type at top and then booking platform, and at last we have mode of payment. So this grid chart can be plotted horizontally as well. For this, select swap from either columns or rows present over here and then generate the report. So far we discussed about the basics of grid chart. If we want to see what type of visualization is present on grid, then select this meatball icon on the top right. From this drop-down menu, select marks and then expand all. Here in this box, you can see type of visualization selected for the grid. By default, it is bar. When you click on this box, all other possible visualizations can be seen. We can customize the visualization on grid from these options shown below. Here I've created few simple reports to demonstrate how we can customize the grid chart using these different options here. In all these options, we can have either dimension or measure. There are 2 ways to fill a field here. Either drag and drop or right click on the field. From this drop down menu, select add to marks and choose where you want the field to be. Now color over here will impart color to the grid based on the input field. For example, if we drag travel type from here, you will see that each bar has been split into 2 colors based on the 2 types of travel types of domestic and international. If we choose a measure like travel cost in color and then generate again, we can see that now it has given a gradient to the bar based upon the cost of travel. We can also apply any other function here. For example, if I want the bar to be month-wise, so we will have travel date under color. We will right click on the travel date and select functions. A new functions window will open up. Here choose the function like month name and then fill in the field name, travel date, that is now generated. So it is showing month-wise breakup of travel cost of domestic and international travels. On the tooltip, you can see month name also along with other details of the data point. Now next is label. Label will add label to the bar on report. So you can either drag the field or select the field from metadata. So if I select this as the field for my label, we will see that the labels of travel cost on the bar are there now for different travel types. Tooltip will show all the details of a particular data point in this single gray box. If we want to show some additional information in the tooltip, for example, in this report of employee name against the travel cost, if we want to see the employee ID as well, then select employee ID under tooltip and then generate the report. Now, if we see on tooltip, we have the employee ID also. In this case, every employee name is having a unique ID. So we are having a one-to-one mapping and it is showing a single value on tooltip. But if there is one-to-many mapping of the field, then it will show star in the tooltip. All these customizations have been done to the bar chart. But when you expand all, you will see there are other visualizations that are possible in grid chart. If we select arc and then generate, then the grid will show you 4 columns having pie charts. If you want to generate a line chart by selecting line and then select generate, you will see that instead of pie chart, now we have a line chart. So here all the visualizations have same customization parameters of color, label and tooltip except point. In point we have additional 2 parameters of shape and size. So if for shape, if we choose any field and then generate, then it will give different shapes to the distinct field values. If we have a field in size and then generate the report again, then it will give size to each point according to its value. So to sum up, in a grid chart, a grid is created based on the selected fields in rows and columns, and that grid is then populated with the measure. Then the grid is filled with the visualization, which is decided by what is selected in the marks, and any type of customization that can be done from marks. Congratulations, you're one step closer in becoming a Helical Insight expert.